comes to reading, we're all pretty familiar with the 5-star system, where 5-star reads are the ones you cannot stop thinking about, you couldn't put them down, they were just great. But today I want to take things one step farther and talk about the books and series that just go above and beyond for me, the ones I will come back to time and time again and just love no matter what. Even if they do have some flaws, they're the books that just belong inside my heart. So these are my 6-star reads. Hey WordNerds, happy Tuesday. So today is the day of the week when we talk about books, the ones we've loved, the ones that have us thinking, the ones we just can't get enough of. And today's books and recommendations are the ones that kind of fall into all of these categories. They're the books and series I keep rereading time and time again, and I'm sure I'm just going to keep on loving forever. I know not everyone rereads, but for me there's just so much comfort in going back to books and series and even authors that I just know fit right into my heart and that I'm going to love forever. The characters feel like friends and family, and they're just always fantastic and never let you down. And of course, everyone's taste is going to be different. I'm sure some of you will have read and not absolutely fallen in love with all of these series, but these are the ones that I will recommend to anyone and everyone who wants to talk about books, and that I will keep rereading until I lose count of how many times I've jumped back into these worlds. So the first one is a series that I'm rereading again right now because it kept coming up and I just couldn't resist, and that is the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. There are 6 books in these series that follow a school of vampires and vampire defenders. It's super popular, so I won't do a deep dive into what it's all about, but I keep coming back to the series because I love the world building, I love the politics, I love the series arc. It's all just so well done, and even though vampires as a trend will come and go, Vampire Academy will always have a place in my heart. But at the same time, I have not been able to get through the spin-off series. I've tried twice now. It's not clicking with me, and I want it to so badly because I would give anything for more time in this world, and yet somehow it's just not working. But the original 6 books are just incredible, and if you haven't checked them out yet, they really do stand the test of time. Highly, highly recommended. Next up is the original Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop. This is adult fantasy. It gets super dark, but even though I am not a fan of really grim, dark stories, the world building, the characters, all of the magic is just so wonderful. It is a very female-based magic system and society, which is really very cool, although there are a lot of really awesome guy characters who are super devoted to the women in their lives, and there's just so much magic and politics going on. Again, super, super dark and not for everybody. There's also a ton of spin-off books that I don't love quite as much as the original 3, but I've reread these series more times than I can count. They are some of the first adult fantasy books I read, and that's probably a big part of why I will love them forever. But this series is probably my all-time favorite trilogy, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. Also by Anne Bishop, who I guess is probably my favorite author if I had to pick one, is the Others series, which is set in a completely different world from the Black Jewels trilogy. The series is set in an alternate version of our world where a species called the Others coexists with humans and kind of dominates their society, and humans are kind of stretched thin to odd parts of the world as the Others just kind of run wild with all of their magic. It's a very animalistic and nature-based magic system, but the Others can sometimes shift into humans and try to coexist and learn more about humans, and there's just all of these misunderstandings and a lot of greater politics and big scary creatures, and there's so much going on here. But the first 5 books are a really, really, really great series. I fell in love with them immediately. I've only read them twice, I think, because it is a fairly newer series, but really, really well done, especially if you're an animal lover or a nature lover. I absolutely recommend giving these ones a go. I am now and forever will be obsessed with Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is just a great book. It is new adult as new adult should have been, about a girl who just moved to college and is learning to find her own way without her twin sister and getting to know new friends and figuring herself out, all while being an unabashed fangirl, writing fan fiction and just figuring out where she wants her life to go. It is beautifully written. The characters are just wonderful. Again, it's another one that a lot of people have read, but for very good reasons, because it's amazing. And finally, a series that you've heard the WordNerds talk about a lot and that I've never actually reread before, but I can see myself coming back to again and again and again, and I think I'm pretty much due for my first reread sometime in the next couple months, and that is, of course, The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I have the first book in, I think, hardcover, ebook, and audiobook, so I should probably give it a go in something other than the way I first read it. I'm not totally sure if the audiobook's going to be a good fit for me, but I can't wait to try reading the series in every way possible and rediscovering these characters and then jumping back into the world once the spin-off series comes out. It is just so fantastic. All of the books were just so fantastic, and if you haven't read them yet, I really recommend you give them a go. So that's it for me today. I'd love to hear from all of you about the series that are your absolute favorites, your 6-star reads, the ones you will come back to time and time again, because I'd love to check them out. And of course, don't forget to join us on Sunday for our next live chat at 7:30 Eastern Time. In the meantime, happy reading, happy writing, and I'll see you next time.